You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, we are coming at you real life, real time. We are filming this podcast, or recording this podcast on beautiful Thursday. We are coming in from a very exciting last couple of days. Of course, we had Launchpreneur Academy Live 2022, joined in the living room with two guests on this podcast. We've got
putting a headset on.
We've got our beautiful wifey for lifey. How you doing, babe?
Good.
And then we've got little Emmy over here as well. Do you want to say hi really quick? Say hello. Nothing? All right. She's because she doesn't know how to talk just yet. That would be why she's not talking into the microphone. So a little family huddle this morning. It's actually real life. I'm looking out the window. We got snowflakes and flurries, which is always exciting. It'll be snowing here before you know it here in Michigan and the Midwest. Some of you guys are already getting your first couple of snowstorms, which is wild. I picked up a pallet of hot pink de-icer from Great Deal Products, which is Troy Clogg's place, right down the road, because they were calling to get 1 to 2 inches of snow in. And it missed us by a little bit. A lot of guys on the west side of the state are already plowing snow, babe. Like,
really?
Yeah, they're all the way to Chicago, to Minnesota, to Wisconsin. And it's crazy. So never a dull moment. So on this podcast, we wanted to talk a little bit about our debrief here from Eliel, and then also kind of talk a little bit more about finishing this season strong, but also getting ready for 2023.
I know, it's crazy. We were like, 6 weeks away from the end of the year?
Yeah, it's coming up quick. And we were actually at dinner the other night. Where did we go? We went to Granite City. Granite City,
yes.
Yeah, which is one of our favorite places to go.
And we really professionally.
Are you getting the box of goldfish here?
I'm giving our little guppy a goldfish.
Oh, here, you want a snack, little baby girl? Here you go. No babysitter today. No, I think Grams is tapped out.
Grams is tapped out after this weekend. But
and other grandma, my mom, I should say,
she's covering date night tonight. So
togetherthetrades.com.
We have no childcare today, which is fine.
So this is what happens. We either get one or the other. Either Grams, your mom, covers for date night, or my mom does. But it's like you can't burn them both out for 8-hour days. We get about 3-4 hour shifts, and that's what we've realized is like what's going to keep them coming back.
Anything longer than that, and they need a couple days.
Yeah, that's where your mom's at, because she watched Emmy all weekend. Yeah. And long story short, if that's how that worked and she got exhausted, now we're fending for ourselves these last 3 days in the afternoon, which we're still surviving, you know.
The ship might be taking on water, but we're still afloat.
Everybody get a bucket. Gosh, I feel like this is an episode of Marriage Monday.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So we went out to Granite City as a family, just you, Em, and I last night.
Yep.
And we got in a really good conversation rolling. Emmy was nice and tired because we just kind of exhausted her throughout the day. So she was kind of hanging out, and we were able to write down some things for 2023, and they might be on a napkin with crayon, but we did write them down. We're getting started in the process. If you guys know us, we're really big on goal setting, resetting. So we've had a constant touch on where we're at with our goals throughout the year. So it's really easy to kind of analyze things very quickly and pivot. It's not something I think we should do once a year, but it's a really good time to start thinking about them now if you're planning on setting some for the new year. I
love that thought. I heard Caleb Wallman on his podcast a couple of days ago or a week ago say, we still got plenty of time to finish, this year strong at 6 weeks to post up. And by the way, I was just looking at our sales on QuickBooks Online. We are over $225,000 in revenue for Brian's Lawn Maintenance. That's before any of the November stuff was factored in. That was from October financials. So we still got November and December. And we'll do 15 to 20 in prepay plus snow, plus invoicing, plus leaves in November. And then another 15 to 20 easily in December for snow. So that puts us at like 275. I bet you we can get like 275 in the bank in terms of gross sales, which is great. Yeah. Our company last year did just under 200,000. So we're at 275. So it's not like we just raised prices 10, 15%. We added customers. We raised price. Dude, our business is growing. Like we're taking on a lot more commercial work this year as well, which is cool. Yep. I'd say we're almost like half and half. Well, and we're getting a bunch of snow work in, which is going to really, really help because that's our biggest opportunity to really start making some more money. So that being said, I'm really excited about that. Brian's Lawn Maintenance is growing like a fertilized weed. So, but that being said, Caleb made a great point. You got 6 weeks to kind of finish this year strong. We're still, I'm literally was just working on on a new HOA contract this morning. A little $3,200 account, plowing the roads. Nothing crazy, but a little easy one for us. But then number 2 is we wanted to start having that conversation now about shifting gears for 2023, because we've noticed that in many things in life, you got to kind of be 6, 8, 12 weeks ahead of the curve. A lot of you guys know, like when you're doing fall, you're thinking snow. When you're doing snow, you're thinking spring.
Yeah, we're really trying to dial it in and make sure we're doing a good job at like thinking ahead instead of just quick on our feet.
That's kind of been the theme this last 6 months.
We have to. We used to be able to operate a little bit quicker, but as a business owner, as parents, like we're just not really able to do that anymore. I don't think it was really ever a good idea to be like running red line like that, even without kids. But with kids, it makes it much more difficult.
We would plan ahead, but we wouldn't plan everything ahead.
Yeah.
And now we're realizing, from groceries to activities to music class to babysitters, right?
Everything is pre-planned. Like Greg Woodstock talked about, like his calendar is literally set up for the entire year, and I'm like, that's amazing. When before I'm like, oh wow, you lame. Like, where's your spontaneous? Like,
yeah. Now, and it goes full circle to a couple friend of ours. I said one time they had 2 kids, I think, and we were like young couple, and I said, hey man, you want to go out to get some Applebee's? And he said, sure man. He goes, when do you think? And I'm like, I don't know, tonight. 6 o'clock. And he goes, that's adorable. He laughed at my face via text message. He goes, ha ha ha. He goes, try 3 months from now. And I'm like, what a square. And then
we get it.
Then we had kids.
That was also the couple of friends that we apologized to once we had a kid. Oh my God, I realized so much of what we did.
Chris and Wendy, great couple friend. Well, now my younger brother Adam, this was like a joke 6 months ago. He's like, hey, you guys want to go to Applebee's? I'm like, sure. What are you thinking? He's like, I don't know, like 6, 7 o'clock. I'm like,
we don't leave the house past like
6.
Like if we're not already at a restaurant and sat by 6, it's not happening.
No way. Because then baby goes out at 8:30. And so I was like, haha, that's adorable. Catch up with me in 3 weeks. You know?
And they're taking baby Olivia home. We're aunt and uncle.
Oh yeah, quick
big life update.
Yeah, for all of you guys.
Aunt and uncle Brian and Liz.
Yeah, well, you're an auntie.
Uncle and aunt. I don't know, whatever.
You're an auntie now.
I'm an aunt. I've never been an aunt before. You've never been an uncle before.
I've never been an uncle before. I'm trying to become chief. Like Troy Clogg said, I want to be chief.
Brian has a life goal to be chief to his grandbabies, and he cries when he thinks about it, and I think it's the sweetest thing.
Well, it was really cool hearing Troy Clogg's presentation. So we'll kind of do a little bit of a debrief from LAL, and then we'll kind of also, and I want to talk about the masterclass because I didn't have a time to talk about that on the last show, and I want you to talk about the ladies' breakfast. I haven't even gotten to hear about masterclass, honestly. We went right from, what do they say, out of the fire into the pot? Out of the frying pan into the fire?
Something.
I don't know what that really means. By the way, skin a cat. Somebody came back with me full circle. It's something about, like, I think it's a fishing term. What? Skin a cat. Like it's
like a catfish?
I think so. Like it has nothing to do with skinning a real cat, which you would think. But anyway, I appreciate you guys giving us some feedback, life advice. Skin a cat is not the same thing. So when we talked about that like 2 months ago, why would you ever do that?
Did we talk about that?
We did. Yeah, we were like, why would you ever skin a cat?
It is very...
I have an orange cat that anybody can skin right now because I...
Stop it.
Paul Jameson was
Paul
literally...
almost took our cat
He was
home
about to take him
LAL.
home. He was like, you can fly a cat home on an airplane. I was like, I will buy you what I want, the nicest... I'll ship him in a cardboard box with holes.
I think if I was like, yeah, Paul, take our cat, I think he would have.
He was going to. Jeremiah was my witness. Paul was set on. He's like, I'll take it right now. And I'm like, because Paul, like, he's just kind of lonely a little bit. Needs a girl, needs a wife.
I don't think Paul's lonely. Paul's a very busy man, and he does not need our orange cat.
Paul, it would just make sense if Paul had a cat.
I don't think Paul's a cat guy. I don't see Paul as a cat guy.
Paul's $1,000 guy.
Paul's $1,000 guy. I don't know if Paul's a cat guy.
I'm not a cat guy. It's just like...
Paul travels a lot, too.
Yeah, but that's why he gets a cat. It's all nimbly bimp. You couldn't do that with a dog. Yeah, you couldn't do that with a dog. By the way, the snow flurries out the window right now are just picking up. So.
Oh, Emma, it's snowing.
Yeah, but don't have a snowing. So here, let's do this really quick. Let's kick it to today's show sponsors and announcements. We're coming in hot. It's gonna be just kind of a fun, light-hearted episode. I want to lightheaded. Yeah, probably that too.
Empty-headed.
How are you feeling baby-wise?
We are almost halfway there. We are 18 weeks pregnant, and I'm like. It's been.
You're tired.
I'm tired. It's just so different, I guess, with the second one. Like,
you don't get the rest.
People aren't as excited for you because you've already had one.
Yep.
Like, you don't get a shower or sprinkles. There's not like any big events to look forward to, and I don't really show.
Send gift cards to PO Box 930-233.
I don't really show very quickly, so like I'm finally just starting to look like, oh yeah, she might be pregnant and not just getting chunky. and I'm starting to feel him move. So now it feels more real. But the poor guy, like we have a drawer in Emmy's room, and that's all he had. Like that's it. Like I'm going to do some major shopping, I think, on Black Friday, Cyber Monday to get him set with stuff.
Yeah.
And did he eat your goldfish? I'm sorry.
What a little jerk.
But I feel good. I'm just really tired.
Tired is the word of the day for sure.
I've been tired for like 15 months, so it's not that different.
Delusional, delirious. Adam and Sarah, they had little baby Olivia.
Oh my God, holding her.
Adam's my brother. He runs Brandon Bull. By the way, shout out to all you guys that reached out to him at the show. I think he had like another 15 to 20 people that wanted websites outside of the 36 leads that they already have already from you guys listening to the show.
And you just had a newborn. So if you're waiting for a website, please be patient.
I told him two things. One, you already got 30, 40 people in the queue. Raise your price by $500. It's supply and demand. And then number two, I told people listening to the show, I think even on Jeremiah and Paul's takeover a couple days ago together, I said, if you want to get a website by spring, now's a great time to reach out.
Yeah.
Because if you try to get one done in March, April, it is not going to happen for 3 months.
Yeah, there's a backlog.
It's just how it works. So anyway, mention Brian's 10, they'll hook you up and save you $100. But let's do this really quick. New babies around, babies coming around, life is crazy, getting ready for the holidays, a lot of things moving. But I really do want to spend a quick minute on Eliel. It was such a great time. So let's do this really quick. We're going to kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, hear from today's show sponsors and announcements. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about Eliel, the breakfast, the masterclass, and then just a little bit of goal setting that we're trying to do for 2023 that maybe can help you guys out.
Accurate estimating starts with accurate accounting. In previous years, you may have been able to get by based on your gut feeling or rough calculations. However, this year, business financial risk has increased due to fluctuating and rising expenses. To ensure you are hitting your profit and cash flow goals, it is now crucial to know your numbers. The accounting firm Cycle CPA currently helps over 175 green industry businesses maneuver in these hectic times through a solid bookkeeping foundation, monthly reports, and continuous advisory meetings. Visit their website, cyclecpa.com, and mention Brian's podcast to receive $200 off on bookkeeping and CFO services.
All right, so let's jump right back into it here. Life is crazy behind the scenes. If you guys only knew what happened in between the transitions and the cuts and the mute button. But so let's do this really quick. By the way, quick funny joke. We were talking back and forth about kids. Funny note of the day. We were at Chris Belly's little pizza eatery that we went to, and the Jennings were with us.
Yeah.
And they got a new baby, and so they're like, first off, shout out to them for muscling through with Jack coming up here. Mm-hmm. He was, 8 weeks? 10 weeks?
9 weeks.
9 weeks old. He slept like a little baby. Literally, I
felt bad because we kept saying like, "Oh, he's so perfect," and like obviously not any baby's perfect. So I was probably being like, I could see that getting irritating after a while.
He was chill. He was calm as a cucumber.
He was very well behaved out in public.
Well, and that's never ever been the case with Emmy. So he's like Jeremiah's fan. Like they don't sleep. Emmy's never slept like this. We're like, no. They like laid him down and he went to sleep, and I was like,
every time we were podcasting. I didn't get that.
We were podcasting out here, and he slept like a little baby on Savannah after he went down. I'm like, Emmy's never done that before. I go, no, never once in 15 months. Restaurants, in the car seat, driving, which is great. Not well as me, but it's just like, hopefully this is our difficult-er baby.
I don't know. They say the first one's the easy one, so I'm kind of afraid. But it was funny. We were sitting in Chris Belly's, and when Brian and I get like flustered with each other, we like, instead of getting like snappy, we've learned to like
overly love each other.
Yeah. So we start calling each other like honey, like it's just, I don't know, if you knew us really well on a day-to-day basis, you would recognize it. But to the outside world, they're probably like, oh wow. And so they were like,
we were a little stressed out and tired because it was Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And so you got the adrenaline dump. And I was trying to cut a pizza, and I was like, hey, honey, would you mind watching this and just holding this? And you go, sure, babe, I'd love to. So I'm holding Emmy while you're cutting the pizza. And Jeremiah goes, you guys work so well together.
Did we have them fooled?
Low key.
In our couple language, that's like an F you.
He's like, you guys work so well together. We're like, thanks, Jeremiah. It's just years of being awesome together. He's like,
try it in your relationship, because it really does kind of like it breaks down like kind of the anger that you have. So it's kind of like a funny way to
TogetherInTheTrades.com.
I don't know if that's like some actual person who knows what they're talking about in terms of marriage is like, oh, these guys have
those
problems.
guys are exactly 2 years and 4 months away from a divorce. Okay. God bless you. Good luck.
It does help though.
It does. Well, it was just funny. It's just everybody's quirky different. They were funny working together too. Jeremiah's like, he looks like flustered. He's like grabbing things and he's like, milk. And Savannah's like, no, you dumb. And he's like, how about this? He's like, no.
She didn't say dumb.
No, but it's just funny. Jeremiah's like not new husband, but well, I guess they're kind of still, newlyweds, but new baby, new father. So he's like running around and trying to do the best he can. And they were like doing all the new parent things, like in the garage, they tried to put the baby in the car seat without waking it up. And you just like do all these little extra effort things. And you just realize like at the end of the day, like it doesn't really work.
Just let the bomb explode.
They were awesome to watch. I was like, oh my God, that was us 12 months ago. Like just figuring it out.
Dude, it's still us.
And then Adam and Sarah, my brother and sister-in-law, they're at the hospital. They have like, they did a hospital thing. And so they got like nurses and food people
saw
and
them,
life
I think
helpers.
She was like a full 24 hours old and neither of them had changed a diaper yet. I was like, hey, can I like re-sign up? Like we did the whole birth center thing. Is it too late to bring my 15-month-old here for a couple nights and you guys can like change the diapers, bring me 3 meals a day?
We had the baby and we were back home in an hour and a half.
It was literally like Emmy was born at almost 9 and we were home before 11, which is what I wanted to sleep in my own bed and take a shower, but I do see the allure of
they had meals, like 4 meals. They're all like, they got people waiting on them.
I would never leave.
Hand and foot. It was
You'd have to kick me out.
I know they're coming home today. They're in for a culture shock. So, but that being said, by the way, I didn't want to gloss over this because we're just coming at you guys fast. Together in the Trades tickets are on sale.
They are, and we
38 people.
38 people have purchased their tickets. There's only 150 total, not 150 couples, 150 total seats available because we are in the mountains. There isn't a whole lot of just huge venues up there, and we wanted to make it a more intimate event. So
when you go west to these kind of places, it's like not all inclusive, but what would you call it? Like secluded.
It's very secluded.
It's not like you go to Louisville, Kentucky, and there's 38 hotels. When you go to like Deer Valley, Park City, where we're going for in January for a little family vacation. There's 4 or 5 hotels, but that's it. It's not like you come in last minute and go, hey, I need a room at the Holiday Inn for $139. It's not how it works when you go to these secluded destinations. Yeah, and we're suggesting, there's not really too many options unless you want to stay pretty far off site, and you can't just take an Uber everywhere. Those only exist. So we're kind of like strongly suggesting to stay where we're recommending. We're working with the hotel. We have a hotel block that we're waiting to have open up. There's been a couple technical issues with it, but when you purchase your ticket, you'll get a link to that into the Facebook group, and that's where we keep everybody updated on that. But yeah, tickets are available. We're going to Big Sky, Montana. We're splitting it into a 2-day event, which is going to be a really good time. It gives us more space and time to... We'll do a whole nother promotion for another time, but 38 tickets sold so far, which is really, really impressive. In the first week? Not even yet. Yeah, and that's just from announcing it really at LEL, and I think the Almonds might have mentioned it on their Instagram. A few of them are Christmas gifts, which I think is just so cool. That is a great idea. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Emmy, come over here. All right, Peanut? She says, I'm going to bed. Bye. She gone. Well, let's do this really quick. I'm going to go chase Emmy, talk about the breakfast, because that was a cool opportunity. That was a new thing from LEL. So talk about that for a hot second while I go run defense. All right. So this is the first year we were able to do something like this. We basically just opened it up to any lady that had come to the event with her husband or boyfriend or by herself, business owner. I just wanted to have a space to really sit down and connect and chat and fellowship with ladies in this community. And Brian graciously sponsored it for us. So it didn't cost anybody a thing. And we were able to just sit and chat and eat for like 3 or 4 hours. We didn't actually go as long as the guys did on the masterclass. It was funny. They gabbed longer than we did, which I thought was kind of funny, as men seem to think women talk a lot, but apparently it's the men. And it was just really good. We got to talk about everything from, what it's like being a woman in this industry, what it's like being a, wife or a mom, or figuring out new motherhood and business, or, you name it, we talked about it. It was really, really great. You guys able to make new friends and like connect? We were, I think so there was 4 big tables with, 10 women each. And oh, cool. I think by the time we left, it was so loud, I was worried that you were going to come knock on the wall and be like, you guys need to tone it down, because we're just... Couldn't hear you guys at all, honestly. It was so good. I think nobody left without a friend. That's cool.
And that's what I wanted. I really wanted, I think women in this industry are really underutilized. There isn't a whole lot of space made for us yet. And when we walk into a room, it's really easy to feel like you're the only lady there. That's how I felt for years until I met like Brittany Almond.
Yeah, 100% who got it, kind of what we were doing too.
Yeah. And so creating a space for women in this industry to come together and talk and share and grow is really, really on my heart lately and important, especially as a mom. It's already hard enough to find friends as it is as a mom, let alone a business owner who's serious.
In their space.
And in the space.
And believes like we do mostly.
Exactly. So it was really refreshing. I think we're definitely going to do it again next year. It's funny because we talk about LAL as like a 1-day event. It's really turned into a 3-day event because we have the Friday night we have Friday setup, Friday evening speakers dinner, and then Friday night pre-party, Saturday all-day event, and the next morning we have master classes and now a women's get together. Like it's a big to do, and it was just, I think, very much needed.
Yeah, 100%. And the master class was a lot of fun. It was very raw. It was very authentic. It was no BS.
That's what I love. Like same thing in the ladies. Like there were no walls. There was not a topic that was off limits.
Right.
Which I didn't know kind of what to expect. So, because you never know.
Well, at the masterclass, I was really excited about that because that was new. It was something different. And I'll tell you what, Nick Carlson, he got on stage, rocked it, killed it, crushed it. Awesome. Corey Ballard, last 2 years, not this year. This year he was a sponsor with Ballard Products. But before that, he spoke on stage for 2 years. Did an amazing job. No doubt about it. Just fire breathing, butt kicking. But, people have their elements for sure that they'd love to be in. And you can tell 100% Corey is a small groups kind of a guy. Like he's way more effective as a communicator, as a leader, as a listening person to then give some suggestions in a smaller environment. And I'll tell you what, he outshined anything I ever would have thought. Just having access to him and listening to him share in that small group. Same thing with Nick Carlson. Long story short, the tickets are going to go on sale again, for next year for the masterclass. I'm going to give those guys dibs because they want to double down.
But they sold out in 4 hours.
Right. So I'm in this weird situation where more people want to go, but I want to keep it intimate. So what we might do is a couple extra breakout rooms next year with a couple different topics. Maybe like a hardscaper breakout room, a financial breakout room, talking numbers, maybe Bedell and Pajak and, Cycle CPA if they come again. Maybe a sales and marketing,
Would you have
room.
Each room run twice so you could get 2 groups on each subject? They just have to pick one subject?
You pick one thing, like whatever is your main focus that year. Okay. Because it's hard. Because I don't want those people to be stuck all day too. The speakers or the people that are sharing. But any which way, it was really, really, really cool because there was a horseshoe. A letter U with Corey, myself, and then Nick, and then even Bedell was adding a ton of value. And everybody just said their name, where they're from, their business revenue. There was no BS. There was no facades. It was just, hey, if you're doing 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, 500 grand, or 1 million. There was no facade. It was just straight up facts, straight up info. And I'm telling you what, it was raw. There's no way we'll be able to communicate how involved, how intimate. I'll tell you, we were dropping nuggets. It was a nugget fest about how to work with people, how to work with culture and building your team. And it was really, really good.
I feel like from the outside in, because I stuck my head in a couple times, you guys were just rolling. It seemed like you could have gone all day.
We really could.
It really could have been an all day thing.
It started, with everybody ready to rock and roll, but we took a little 10-minute pee break, 10:15, whatever it was, and then we got back right into the room and we rolled again, shifting gears on some different topics. I'm telling you, it was unlike Fullerton on the podcast. It was unlike Fullerton on the stage, unlike Fullerton in one-on-one. It was, we're going to learn. We're going to grow. We're going to literally break some stuff down. It was, I'm telling you what, it made me, I was like, dude, this is good stuff. I left feeling pumped up. Bedell gave me this huge paragraph, dude. Dude, thank you so much for the event. Thanks so much for letting me come to the masterclass. This is exactly what I needed. Mentally, I'm in such a better headspace. I cannot wait to crush it and to grow. It lit a fire under everybody. It would be impossible to leave that environment and not be motivated. Quick highlight, by the way, I had to mention was, what is she doing? She's got a carrot stick thing in her mouth.
I know.
You good over there? You good?
Smoking a stogie.
Okay. One quick funny takeaway though was a young guy in the room, and I might have joked about this on the other podcast, but I don't know if it was right question, wrong person, wrong question, right person. Wrong question, wrong person, right question, right person. I don't know. But one guy asked in the room to Nick Carlson, "Hey man, my question is about motivation. How do you stay motivated?" to Nick Carlson. He goes, my question's to Nick Carlson about how do you stay motivated when it's tough out there? And you know, you got good days, you got bad days. How do you stay motivated? And again, I don't know if it was the right question to the wrong person. I don't know if it was the wrong question to the right person. But Nick Carlson was like, you want the answer? Do you want the real effing answer? And the other guy goes, the real effing answer? And Nick Carlson, dude, lays into this dude for 10 minutes. Oh my God. Like, and the guy at the end was like, all right, thanks, man. But it was like, right question, the wrong person. You guys can imagine, right? So, and it didn't like blow the guy out or anything like that. But it was just funny because Nick Carlson was like, it's about the dream. It's about America. It's about being better than you were before. It's about hustle.
I'm assuming Nick is probably a lot different behind closed doors in that kind of an environment.
He's
versus
intense.
Like the polished, what you see.
No, 100%. Everybody is. Like,
I mean, not in a bad way. Like he is who he is, but like with no like filter at all, I would pay money.
Well, when you pay good money to get the unfiltered, not PC, you know, can you really say that in public these days? Type of answers. Yeah. That's what that environment. There was no recording. There was no microphones. There was no. There's not going to be a live event recording for that breakout session. Yeah. There should be a live event recording that we're going to drop on the website here, probably after the first of the year. So if you guys want to get the LAL 22 replay, that'll be available. That's for all the main event speakers, but. Overall, I just got to share, because we'll kind of wind this thing down here. I don't want to go too long. LEL 2022, huge success. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to the speakers, everybody that came in. It was a really, really good time. Not the most profitable event. Again, it is for profit, but for example, we bought a lot of new stuff again this year. We invested heavily into the Friday night go-kart track. We paid that out of pocket. There was no sponsors, unfortunately. Hopefully next year, somebody wants to tag up. But that was a $7,000 hit. I literally spent 7 G's of our own money.
Well, just the ladies' breakfast.
The ladies' breakfast was another about, I don't know, 1,000, 1,500 in food.
There were guys that were trying to pay for it too, which I thought was so sweet. But
it was good breakfast.
It was good breakfast.
We bought a spin a booth. Shout out to I think it was Brian or Lawn that won the $100 Chick-fil-A gift card, because everybody was intimidated by that thing, because it's like this 30-inch platform you stand on, and this boom that kind of looks like a hockey stick zips around you in a 360-degree fashion. You put your phone in the cradle, put it on slow-mo, and then we had a bunch of cool props that you had picked up at Party City. Mm-hmm. And it's fun. You like do a little dance, and then you add like some music to it on your Instagram reel. It was super fun. However, nobody had done anything with it until noon, and I dropped like $4,000 on this thing.
This was Brian's like.
It brings
thing. I don't know.
It brings people together. Well, I saw it at the Jobber booth at Equip.
I think we need music by it next year.
Some music by it, something like that, little Sonos speaker going.
Yeah, and Brittany is off the controller because
she knocked somebody out, bro.
I know the girl. Like I felt so bad. I feel like she's like my friend now.
Yeah.
Because I immediately identified with what happened. So Brittany's controlling the arm on the platform.
Brittany feels like personally attacked on every one of our episodes. She texted us yesterday. She's like,
Brittany was controlling the arm that swings around the platform to make it like the spin booth. And the girl, again, I'm not going to name her by name, got off. And then Brittany reversed it and it just wackadoodled her. And it didn't stop. Like it didn't
so that's the thing. Once
hit
you
her and turn off. Like it kept going. And I was like, oh my God, that would happen to me.
She got knocked into the back grass drop.
She was such a good sport about it. I was so thankful. She was one of the first people to do it too. And I'm like, shoot.
Listen, that's why we got event insurance, because Brittany Almond's at the helm with the control. Just kidding, Brittany Almond.
I was just happy it wasn't me.
Dude, and the girl, she laughed. She had a great attitude. If it wasn't in front of 50 people, it wouldn't have been that bad.
Yeah. Because she probably wouldn't mind if I named her, but I'm just out of respect.
She had a great attitude. I think we owe her a $25 or $50 gift card too. If she knows who she is and you remember, you got to catch up with that.
And we're friends on Facebook and everything.
You need to send them a gift card and insurance waiver forms. But we got some really cool reels. The Briner folks, I'm going to make an Instagram reel if I can get the clip from them and share it, because they did a really good job. And you see like the slow-mo with the money gun, it like perfectly had the money like staying in the air. Like it was a really cool shot.
That money gun was the bane of Mitchell Gordy's existence, because he always he took the batteries out of it. He was done.
Did he? Shout out to Mitchell Gordy.
Mitchell Gordy helped with there are so many people from Mike Bedell. Once you name one, I feel like I have to name everybody. So if I don't mention you, I'm sorry. There are just so many people who help with this event. It's hard to mention everybody by name. But Mitchell Gordy unexpectedly came up for the first time ever. He'd never been to an LAL. And helped with literally everything. He put the spin booth together. Like he did so much. And then I'm trying to like break break things down or put stuff up, and people are like, oh no, Liz, don't do that. And I'm like, why? And they're like, you're pregnant. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I always say I'm pregnant, not dying. I can function.
And again, like I had many people say best $250 they could have ever spent on an event. And
good to hear.
The event's for profit. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But at the same point, like money isn't the goal with everything we're trying to do. I'm sure like one day it should be. And if we did a cost analysis, or what do they say, a job costing?
Yeah.
Probably not the most profitable thing we could be doing with our time. But I mean, we dropped $7,000 on the go-karts, $4,000 in the spinning booth. We had those LEL block letters, those light kind of marquee lights. Those were $1,500. We bought a Launchpreneur Academy neon line. That was $300-$400. We're dropping 10, 12, 15
we own
grand.
like the light trusses that you guys see there, like all the stuff for the stage.
We're trying to reinvest and make this thing a good production.
We really do believe in you guys, and we know, especially this year, we feel it more than ever, really, with the way the economy is and stuff. You know, Brian got his business started right during a recession. So we've, for those of you who have started, I'm trying to figure out a way to say this nicely. For those of you who started your business in the last couple of years and have had it easy, this is not what it's like to be in business.
No,
it's not. It's never been this easy in our lifetime.
Right.
And it's getting hard, and we're going to see some people fail. And we want to make sure those of you who are out there who are hungry for it, who, you know, made the decision to come to LEL, we want so badly to make sure that you get enough out of it to protect yourself against the storm that's coming.
Right.
So I won't get too deep.
No, that's good.
That's where our hearts are at.
We want it to be a fun thing to go to. We could rent a little conference room at the Holiday Inn, and we could do no speakers, like audio. We could do no audio, no screens. Give you a little, wood podium that every hotel has. Just do classroom style, which is no tables, and we could do no frills. We could tell everybody, go pay for your own lunch, go get Jimmy John's, or have something brought in. Our break. We don't want to do any of that. Like, we want this thing to be a fun, cool event.
Everything we do, from like the speakers are one thing. Like, obviously, you're going to get a ton of knowledge and like education here, but we also want to equip you with like a feeling of you're not the only one, that you can make friends here and network with people all across the country, like not even in your own area.
Right.
And come out of this thing, not just knowledgeable, but like your spirit filled up. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we try and do these things like the race car track the night before and the women's breakfast.
By the way, Nick Carlson brought his own helmet.
Did he really? Yeah. I missed it.
Corey Ballard was giving him a bunch of crap too.
Wait, who won?
There was no Grand Prix or whatever they call it. There was we dipped because we had to go back to the room to make sure everything was set up.
Yeah.
But somebody said they didn't do a final race, which I was like, what? Like, why? So you might have the fastest lap. So what they do is they take the 8 races, 25, probably 30 races, and then they do the fastest lap race. And then it's like the final of the final. But I don't know. Austin Douglas came up to me and he's like, hey man, there was no final race. So technically I'm still the winner for 2 years to run.
I mean, yeah, technically.
Yeah. Shout out to Austin Douglas, by the way. He got ISO, I don't know, something certified, like with MGIA, and he's a certified like arborist now. Like, he's like a tree doctor, dude.
That's cool.
That is cool. He's got this huge patch now on his polos. Rightfully so. You do something like that, and
that's like big deal. You
separate and differentiate yourself. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to doubling your rates right overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, or adding a 30% premium compared to the chuck in the truck guy who's like, yeah, we'll just cut back your hostas and your spirea. And now he's like, actually,
everything dies.
Yeah, right. Let's shift gears really quick to 2023, because this is a good time for you guys to start thinking. This is a good time for us. Let me rephrase this. You guys do whatever you want to do. I'll tell you what we're doing, because I'm never like, you need to do this. I don't do that with any of my content. What I found, that's what you always say, what I found that's worked for me, that's all your get out of jail free card, is right now we're setting our goals for 2023. We're going to be redoing our goal card. It's 2023 coming up, right?
Yeah. Okay. I kept saying LAL 2023 because my brain's just there already.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Caleb said it in 2024. I'm like, is that next year? And so he was messing everybody up.
Time's already going fast enough. Let's not.
I just had this out-of-body experience. I'm like, are we in the right year? I don't know, a decade.
Are we in the right decade?
But here's the thing. Like, think about it. Once you're like through the holidays and Christmas and stuff, you don't really have a ton of time to start thinking about New Year's. Like 3 days later, it's the New Year's. So you're enjoying it, partying, hanging out, whatever people are doing. And the next thing you know, it's January 1st. Then it's January 2nd, and you're like, oh shoot, I should like maybe reset some goals for the new year. My suggestion, here's what we're doing, is we're setting them now, because we had a good, hour and a half, 2 hour dinner, and we had been, this is a continual conversation for us. Like, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? Yeah. Where are we skating to the puck? What's the trends out there for business, for life? What do we want to do with the lawn care company, the media company, all this other crap? And it wasn't super formal. We got some appetizers. Emmy was busy. I'm like, hey, this is a 20-minute window.
It's literally written down on a crayon or on a napkin with crayon.
I was like, we can talk about current events and how great LAL was, or we can start shifting gears and moving. Be future focused. Because like, folks, for real, like you got to like everybody in life, like, oh, I did this or I've done that. I'm like, that's great. That should last for about a 30-minute window, and then you should go do something
on to the
new.
next thing. We were already, Monday this week I had a migraine, so I was out. But then Tuesday we immediately started a new project. Like
100%.
We don't sit there and just read our own press clippings about it.
LAL was great. LAL was great, but that event ended at 6:00 on Saturday. Life goes on. So now we're future focused on 2023. But we talked about trends. We talked about how much income we want to make. We talked about where our time is going to be focused on, what we're trying to accomplish. We've done some podcasts, the first week of January, like with Trisha Dorick, and we've done some great ones about goal setting and whatnot. But here's what I would just say, like start putting pen to paper now, because most of us, we're finishing up leaves. We're finishing up some Christmas light installs. December is going to be a pretty chill month. Start taking time now to start setting out those goals with you, your spouse, your family, right? To make sure that when January 1 hits, you're ready to rock and roll. I don't know. That could be a 20-minute thing. That could be a 2-hour powwow thing. I don't really know. But we literally took a napkin with crayon and I was like, that's our roadmap. We literally said, here's what we want to do. We put action steps behind those things to create habits, which our whole talk was about habits. I think the whole big takeaway word from LAL was habits. And then from those habits, it will determine your character and your destiny. So that being said, we put what we wanted to do and then what's the action step behind each thing. Because you're like, oh, I want to lose weight. That's fine. I want to work out 3 times a week to lose weight. That's the action step behind it. So anyway, some quick thoughts there. This is a kind of a lighthearted show, but that's kind of what we've been focusing on this week after LAL. It wasn't like, look how great LAL was. It's, hey, that was awesome, great, but that was already last week. We need to start focusing on the next 6 weeks to finish strong, number 1. And then number 2, line ourselves up for success in 2023. So
yeah, it's going to be like landing a plane this spring with the baby in the house and the pole barn. But
it's, we were hinting on it with Growing Greens podcast with Jeremiah and Savannah on their Monday show, but we're ready to build the house, our ducks in a row financially. We're ready to build the pole barn in the spring. The baby comes in the spring. The spring rush comes in the spring. We're looking at a tractor in the spring. We're looking at a UTV in the spring. It's social media is going to be growing in the spring. The business is going to be growing in the spring. We're going to be pruning some clients in the spring, raising prices for a lot of our commercial accounts. Hopefully keep those. We're getting into more and more commercial work by design. We're not building the next $10 million company yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if one day you and I decide to really pull that hammer down and shift gears. And we've talked about it many times.
We felt the hum.
Yeah. Do we want to build the next $1, $2, $5, $10 million regional company? I don't know if Troy retires, then yes. In the meantime, no. Like I'll let him keep his business or sell it, and then we'll
buy it.
I would
buy it tomorrow.
I don't know, man. Do we have 15, 18 commercial accounts now? And because we got 12 or 13 of our own, we're subbing out 4 or 5 with Troy, and even more to come. And we just picked up a new HOA as well. I was talking about picking up a fast food restaurant. That's our first fast food restaurant. That'll be an interesting one. I got to follow up with that guy in a second. But my takeaway is imagine if you had 500 commercial sites or 1,200. Or I don't even know.
I was thinking about this. We've always said we didn't want to get bigger because of varied topics, but one of the big ones has especially been labor. Could you imagine if we
Sorry, dude.
I mean, just under this podcast.
You're okay. She almost hit the red button.
Yeah, which is not the button to hit.
That's not the button to hit. I just smashed her truck.
Her dump truck.
I don't care if she goes plays with the mixer, but that's the only button she cannot hit. I was like, dude, we cannot lose a 40-minute show. That freaked me out.
We've always talked about because of one of the reasons is employees, but I feel like if we already are having the employee problem, what's the big deal to expand that? If it's already a problem, then make it a good one.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's almost like if you have 20 guys, at least you know you'll always have 12.
Yeah.
If you got 40, at least you know you always have 22.
But if you have 1, then your only other option is 0.
It's always you. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I feel pretty optimistic and we're getting a re-up.
There's a lot of there's a lot.
Our mojo back.
I don't think we lost it. Brownsville maintenance is up, dude. We're up $75,000 in revenue. That's huge. That's 30-40% growth. I do. Well, I don't know. I think we're personally growing. The businesses are growing. Dude, we've been putting in a lot of work.
Maybe that's it.
Mentally and physically. So, but any which way. So that's what I've got on today's show. Anything else you want to add? Anything from LAL? Anything?
I think you should change this poopy diaper.
That is a poopy diaper. We can both smell it. I was like, that's definitely a poopy. One other quick thing, little plug. Snow contracts are selling like crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Quite a few. This morning.
Yep. Thank you, you guys, for buying those and supporting with that. Commercial contracts, residential contracts. Very, very thankful for all the support there. A lot of all-in snow bundles. Don't sleep on the snow and ice management log. I really, really, really want to encourage you guys to pick up that resource. It's like $49. Very simple document, but can really, really help if you ever get sued or anything like that. You need to have site conditions and track and map all that stuff. We have 2 contractor clipboards in both of our trucks with 30 or 40 of these sheets. And every time we leave a site, we are required to make sure that we have those filled out. By the way, we're using Element Time with Troy Clogg as we subcontract out. We'll do some more videos on that later. We're required, same thing, to track all of the sites when we punch in and punch out from every site. It's no joke. So I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of people purchase the snow contracts over the year, and I'm only seeing dozens and dozens of people buy the snow and ice management log. So it's not a cash grab. I'm just telling you, like CYA, have you and your guys make sure that you're tracking site conditions and filling out those forms. If you got something digital through a Jobber or Yardbook or whatever your solution is, fantastic. But if not, have a paper trail in your truck. And after every snow event, you better come back into the house or the office with 20, 30, whatever, snow ice management logs about what you did at that site. So that's my quick rant. Anything else you got?
Nope, that's about it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. I think this is the first solo show we've done with her at this stage of life, because we did it one when she was younger, maybe, 4 months or 5 months, and she slept a little bit.
You mean without childcare?
Childcare.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you did one with 4 or 5 months, and you just breastfed, to be honest with you, I think. And but right now she's active.
Since she's been mobile, at about 6 months, I think she started crawling.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't know. Something about that.
I don't know. No, 6 months she started. Anyways.
12 months she started standing
Once
up
she
and
started
walking.
moving and pulling up on stuff, it was game over. So we have been, now she plays independently a little bit better.
A little bit. If you got a 14, 15-month-old, we are praying for you. Keep praying for us. So
I've heard it only gets better.
Yeah, right. Well,
not that we love this. This is great.
No, this is a really, really good time. So blink if you're in trouble. The crazy nervous laugh at the end is always great.
Headset.
All right, guys. Well, over and out from this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. You guys have a beautiful weekend. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch up with you guys here on Monday. Don't miss Monday's show. We got Atlas Outdoors with Sam Gimbel. It's going to be a really, really good show. So over and out, guys. Have a great day. We'll catch up with you on the next one.
Bye.
Are the increasing labor, fuel, and material expenses affecting your bottom line? In order to battle against these fluctuating market factors, it's important to understand your numbers and shift your strategy if needed as the economy changes. Having a team to handle the bookkeeping and CFO services will help you stay ahead of these changes. The team at Cycle CPA provides reports on a monthly basis to ensure you are making a profit and hitting your goals. Comparing your reports to past periods, green industry benchmarks, and comparing between service lines will help to underline areas that need to be improved on for the next period. Visit their website, cyclecpa.com, and mention Brian's podcast to receive $200 off on bookkeeping and CFO services.
Marty here with one more reminder before we wrap everything up, and that is about the Black Friday sales that are coming to LawnpreneurAcademy.com. Yes, our biggest, baddest, best sales of the year over that weekend of Black Friday through Cyber Monday. Make a little note on your phone, set a reminder to check out LawnpreneurAcademy.com for big savings.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.